Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. It's Wednesday evening, been working all day and down here at the house this evening trying to get some more of this flooring up. Yesterday evening I finished up in the living room. That was a real bear. It's a very damp crawl space to say the least. There's actually a creek running through part of it, and so I was trudging through the mud and fighting rotten wood to to get those boards up. And then as I was taking the floorboards up, the floor joists were actually collapsing into the crawl space. So it was quite a project. So I'm glad to have that out of the way. So now we have the office completed and the formal living room completed. Tonight I'm going to start on the dining room, and then after that I'll move into the laundry, and then last but not least we'll do the foyer. So it's we've still got quite a bit of work to do, and I'm trying to get down here each night this week to get some of it done, just so I don't have as much on me this weekend. But it's we've got a lot of cleanup to do between now and next week, which is when we're actually having a pre-bid meeting with a bunch of our subcontractors. So a little bit of a time crunch trying to get a lot of this stuff done. So working down here this evening and the rest of this week, trying to get all this stuff wrapped up. Let me show you where we're at this evening as I'm getting started here. The contractors came back today and installed 2 more support columns. So now we have a total of 6 support columns supporting these 2 pressure treated 4x6 beams, and with that it's actually carrying the load of the upstairs flooring system. So you can see our floor joists coming across there. We were worried about this partition wall because the base of it has been so compromised. With the flooring removed from the office and now the living room, there was some insecurity, let's say, in that wall. The sill plates, the band joists, in the way this wall's kind of stacked together just made us nervous about leaving it unsecured. So this beam system here with these metal support columns, that gives us a lot better sense of security. We know that this flooring up here is not going to go anywhere. We're not going to deal with any settlement or any particular structural failures. So feeling a lot better about that. Let's take a walk over into the foyer and get a look into the living room. And again, this is where I finished up last night. You see the floor is completely gone except for this step here and that little piece of the floor. I was using that to get in and out last night. We'll pull that out at some point. These 2 floor joists are rotted and broken over at the edge, and I just left those in there for now. I didn't have the energy last night to pull them out and towed them to the bin, so I'll get that done later on this weekend. But this room is completely cleared out now, and you can see I left the stubs of the floor joist sitting out there just to provide support underneath this wall on the outside of the house. We want to make sure that we didn't disturb that any more than absolutely necessary. Some of the floor joists on the other end over there just kind of rotted off, just kind of broke off in my hand, so they're not doing a whole lot. Again, that's why we put that beam and metal column support system in over there. So looking back into the dining room, this is the flooring I'm going to be working on tonight. You can see that the fuzz board, press board, whatever you want to call it, is just disintegrating. And what happened is, up above here is where the hall bath is upstairs. And unfortunately, the previous owners of the house let the tub leak for who knows how long, maybe years, because it rotted the floor, it rotted this partition wall, we've already torn it out, it rotted the sill plates. I mean, you can see how rotted these are. They're just completely gone in places, and it even rotted the ends of this wall over here. So I mean, serious, significant water damage. And then all of this flake board is down over top of board sheeting, and some of the board sheeting is even rotted. Now some of this floor is still in pretty good shape, but everything over close to where that partition wall used to stand and where all the water used to come down out of the ceiling when they were taking their shower had significantly damaged and compromised the floor structure here. So that's where I'll be starting this evening. It should be a pretty good project this evening. I'm hoping to get at least half of the floor out before it gets too late, and then come back down tomorrow evening and tackle the rest of it. And then that'll just leave us with the laundry and the foyer this weekend, plus a lot of just cleanup that we have to do. We need to go through all the rooms and pull nails out of all the walls and ceilings where the sheetrock came down, because we're going to have to go back with fresh sheetrock. We don't want our sheetrock guys seeing that and saying, hey, we got to add 10% to this project because we got to do that. And we're also going to just vacuum the whole place. I've got a shop vac, and we're going to be taking that thing and just sucking out all the stud bays and all of the joist cavities in the ceiling, because it's just full of cobwebs, dead bugs, mouse poop. I mean, you name it. So no better time than now to get all that stuff cleaned out. And what else do we have to do this weekend? Oh, we got to finish cleaning out the attic above the garage. Previous owners left that thing jam full of belongings, Christmas decorations, magazines, clothes, pots and pan, and I mean, just everything you could possibly imagine up in that attic. So we're going to spend some time this weekend taking that from the attic to the dumpster. Yeah, we're getting close. My oldest boy asked me tonight, he said, Dad, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at with the demolition? And I said, well, starting from the very beginning, considering everything that we've done, I think we're at about an 8. So, I mean, that gives us some sense of satisfaction, obviously, and makes us feel some sense of relief knowing that we're getting close to the end here. So hang around with me tonight and see what I can get accomplished. Hoping to knock a bunch of this floor out and not have to spend much time wading around in the mud down in the crawl space. We'll see what happens.
Alright, so I got the first wheelbarrow load of fuzz board, subfloor, ready to go outside. I'm just using a shovel and going in between the upper layer of sheeting and the board sheeting on the bottom, and the stuff just disintegrated, just coming apart, it's just crumbling. So I'm basically just shoveling it into the wheelbarrow, and once I get all this done, then I'll come back and pop the boards loose.
Well, there you have it, folks. The end of another long evening down here at Woodmere Estate. I was able to get about half of the dining room floor up this evening. So it was a productive evening, but I'm wore out at this point, and it's time to finish cleaning up and head for the house, get a little bit of rest, and get up and go to work tomorrow. So we're powering through. I think probably tomorrow evening I'll have the dining room finished, and then that'll just leave the foyer and the laundry room to be finished up this weekend, and then we can spend the rest of the time cleaning up the job site, getting ready for our pre-bid meeting with our subcontractors next week. Really looking forward to getting this demolition behind us, and excited to see the next phase of the project begin, which is where we're actually starting to put the house back together. Let me show you where we're finishing up this evening. So you can see I got about half of the dining room floor out, a little less than a half. You can see a hole in the floor there where I fell through unexpectedly. That was exciting. There are a few floor joists that are going to have to be replaced here. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 floor joists. The closer the floor joist is to where this partition wall used to stand, and underneath this water damage in the ceiling and everything, the worse they are. So this one right here next to the foyer, completely rotted, definitely needs replaced. The one next to it, definitely been wet. The one next to that, wet. So all these joists going across here that were close to where there's just this constant stream of water coming down from that upstairs bathroom, all these floor joists need to be replaced. When you get over about 2/3 of the way across, you can see the color changes. Those floor joists over there have been dry and they're solid, and they have a totally different feel to them than the ones that have been soaked with water, and a totally different look to them. I mean, look how dark this one is right here This one that's completely rotted, the ones next to it have this almost ashy or gray look to them. But the ones there across the way there at the very end have just a light kind of normal wood look to them. So you can really tell which ones got soaked with water and which ones haven't. We're going to go ahead and pull up the rest of the floorboards here in the dining room tomorrow, expose all of this, find out exactly what needs to be replaced. And if there's any doubt at all, we're going to rip it out and replace it, because we're not messing around with any rot, moisture damage, or anything, mold, mildew. We're going to tear everything out that we have to at this point and completely redo it. We don't want to leave anything behind that's questionable. So again, good progress this evening, and we're continuing to tear up the floors here. Looking forward to getting back down here tomorrow and take care of the rest of this dining room and keep on trucking. So thanks for hanging around for another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. Appreciate you guys watching and keeping up with the progress. And it's going to be a great project, and we're really looking forward to the next phase. Hope you'll stick with us. Please hit that subscribe button so you get all the latest updates from Woodmere Estate. And be sure to tune in next time for the latest update. Thanks. Have a good night.